This video is sponsored by What's Not. I'll give you the full lowdown at the end of the video, but make sure you check out my invite link on screen right now and in the description down below to get $15 of Whatnot credit, which when you spend directly supports the channel. And you can watch me over on Whatnot unboxing and pack opening tons of Digimon goodies and hosting a bunch of giveaways. Stuff like this is being given away completely free, no strings attached over on my Whatnot. Like I say, I'll give you more details at the end, but thank you to Whatnot for sponsoring this video. The Digimon Adventure English American dub. A divisive topic among the fandom, some people insisting that it besmirches and degrades something amazing and pure in the original Japanese. And people like me who obviously grew up on the dub, who only are fans of Digimon because the dub existed in a time period where that was basically the only way to get a show seen in territories like the UK and the US by its target demographic. And I will definitely concede that some decisions made in the anime dubs, as well as all localization, video games, card games, etc., are not always the best. But I think there are actually some dub and localization decisions that I really like, that make sense, or are maybe, in my opinion, more descriptive or a better fit for that Digimon. So yes, on today's video, I'm going to be talking about 10 Digimon dub names that I think, in my personal subjective opinion, are better than the original. One that is not on this list is Omnimon. I really do actually like Omnimon. I think it's a good name. Now it makes me think of Omni-Man from Invincible. And while of course I understand the Alpha and the Omega, that's kind of a retroactive thing that got added. Omegamon is also a great name though, and I do not think that Omnimon is a better name than Omegamon, but that would be the example of the kind of thing we're talking about. And my number 10 is Gallantmon. I like the name Dukemon. It definitely works for a royal knight. I think in Japanese, Dukemon probably sounds better to the ear, but Gallantmon I think is a much better name for English-speaking audiences. Also to me, and maybe this is a personal thing, the term Duke doesn't necessarily embody goodness or a crusader for good. When I think of dukes, I think of English dukes who are sausage-fingered weirdos, or the guy that looks like a bigger version of me from Resident Evil Village. Gallantmon really does embody what he's all about, being gallant. It's a name that I think is totally appropriate for this Digimon, and to me slightly ekes out above the name Dukemon. Next up is the thumbnail. Controversial, I know, but I think Gatomon is a better name for the Digimon than Tailmon. Future Karn here, stepping in. I made it clear before I don't watch other Digimon videos so I don't want to accidentally crib ideas or anything, but while I'm editing this video, looking for images of Gatomon, I saw this thumbnail from Digimon Central. This video's idea and the thumbnail were created before I edited this video, and while we're talking about different things, I wanted to acknowledge it real quick because I know some people might think that I would have stolen that idea. I haven't. Go watch Digimon Central's video, I'm sure it's great. Let's get back to it. Sure, she has a tail, but that's not really descriptive of her as a creature, nor is it exclusive to her. Cat's tails is a thing, you know, cat's tails under a rocking chair, whatever. But it's not my first thing I think about when I think about cats, nor is it my first thing I think about when I think of Gatomon. That would be those giant paws, the lightning paws, you know? Pawmon doesn't sound great. You could have gone with something like Clawmon, Necomon, maybe. I think the dub name Taking Tailmon, which, I don't know, is a name, I guess, and doing something a bit fun with it I think is appropriate. People often say it's weird that they chose Gatomon rather than Catmon or something. Why go with a Spanish-Portuguese name? But it's not like the Digimon creative team in Japan don't also use names from other countries. Tons of Digimon created in Japan have English names already. There's also a ton of Digimon whose name inspirations come from different countries. Ranamon, not Lanamon. Yes, I am going to be doing a top worst dubbed or localized Digimon name soon too. Comes from the Spanish word rana for frog. Ayatamon comes from the Ayatar, an evil spirit in Finnish folklore. So Gatomon being called Gatomon really isn't that weird for a Digimon. But even back in the day, I think a lot of people would have been familiar with the term Gato. I was familiar with Gato the cake. Fat jokes. Tailmon definitely is fine, but yeah, Gatomon for me has always been the winner. And hey, Gatomon was in Adventure and then 02. And you know who also is in 02? Armadillomon. This is one I almost never see anyone using the sub name for, even people that are real sub purists. Because yeah, the original Japanese name for Armadillomon is Armadimon. Armadimon's fine. It still comes from armadillo, and oftentimes I do think that longer names don't work as well. But in this instance, I just think Armadillomon is superior to Armadimon. Weirdly, losing the low part of armadillo makes Armadimon sound like it's something else, like a armada or something. And I appreciate the name Armadillomon all the more, because if you look at some like Digimon books and whatnot, we almost got the name Dillomon in the dub, and that would have been awful. This one's very close, but I just really don't see anyone, like I say, calling it Armadimon. Armadillomon I think 90% of Digimon fans are comfortable with using, and that's a total dubism. Monmon is actually called Koemon. Koemon's fine, coming from ko and etako, meaning a child monkey, totally works fine, and again sounds great, and obviously in Japanese works very well. Monmon for English speakers is dope, right? Works great, little monkey, but also I think Japanese speakers are familiar enough with the word monkey. But what's great about the name Monmon is that we get Mon. It's such a cutesy name, really appropriate for the cute little guy. It scratches my brain in a similar way to there being Angemon and Angewomon, using the mon suffix in a creative way. Incredibly cute, and I think quite Japanese in its style of naming. Well, obviously not derived literally from Japanese words like Koemon is. I think that kind of repetitive naming convention is very common in Japan, especially when you look at things like onomatopoeia, where you get like bidi bidi, gero gero. These onomatopoeic, almost cutesy sounds are often two words back to back, and that's why I kind of like Monmon. It's not onomatopoeic, but it almost feels like it could be. This whole list is probably controversial, but here's a really controversial one. I prefer Myotismon to Vamdemon. Vamdemon is kind of rolls off the tongue well, but it literally just comes from vampire demon, vampire demon. It's okay. Myotis, though, is the scientific name for a bat, which is incredibly appropriate for this guy. I kind of want to do a separate video on this, on Digimon names or attack names that I misinterpreted as a child. And Myotismon is one of these ones. I didn't know what Myotis was, and actually thought it was mitosis, which as a kid, all I knew was to do with your body and your cells, so that kind of made sense as like blood to me. And then there's other words that Myotis kind of evokes, like myxomatosis, myositis. It just feels like a really good word for this evil guy. Vamdemon is good too, but maybe a little bit reductive, maybe a little bit safe. And that's totally true of like Devimon too, don't get me wrong. But I just like Myotismon. It really stands out as a cool name for a Digimon. Next up is a Digimon Frontier pick. Digimon Frontier is full of name changes in the dub for some reason, and a lot of them I really don't like. Burning Greymon has caused a ton of headaches in the card games that we're only just getting over. Kazemon I guess sounds a little bit cooler to English kids, but I think Fairymon was a perfectly fine name for her. But there is one that I really like, and that is Metal Kabuterimon. Bolgmon, you know, it's a name. Definitely doesn't sound super good in English, sounds okay in Japanese. It does have a nice reference to the Fur Bolg, a Neolithic god of thunder and lightning, which is cool. But with the Warriors 10 largely being adventure references, or at least adventure homages, Ancient Beetlemon not being Ancient Kabuterimon always kind of like annoyed me. But Metal Kabuterimon I think is a great name for this guy and does tie in a little bit to adventure. I'm a big fan of the Kabuterimon family anyway, and I especially like having Metal Kabuterimon in a line with Blitz or Beetlemon coming from Ko Kabuterimon, though apparently a working development name for Metal Kabuterimon or Bolgmon was Biribimon, which comes from Biribiri, that onomatopoeia I talked about earlier, sort of the Japanese onomatopoeia for electricity or electric shocks, and it would have been like Biribi, Biribeetle, or maybe even a bee. Maybe I just want all Digimon to be bees. Number 4, Wendigomon, who in Japan is called Wendimon. This is a very simple one to me. It's better just for that go Wendigomon to the polls. Wendimon sounds like it should be related to Petermon. Not that having a name that's pretty similar to a girl's name is any issue in my opinion, but it just makes me think of Wendy Darling or a Wendy House and not of this big fearsome Wendigo. Hell, maybe that was the intent in Japanese. Maybe they wanted some femininity to leak through somehow. I don't know, I'm probably reaching. Wendigomon just works perfectly and is even better than Endigomon, which sometimes they try to push for SummerSlam. Not a fan. Number 3, Deputymon. His Japanese name is Revolmon, you know, because he's a revolver. Ocelot's favorite Digimon. But Deputymon I think sums him up better as a Digimon. He's a rootin' tootin' shootin' deputy. Yes, he's a giant gun, and yes, he was probably called Deputymon in the dub to move away from gun names and gun imagery, but I don't care. It works for him super well. His characterization, even in Japanese media, I think Deputymon fits him quite well. Deputymon, Starmon, these are names that I think are so iconic and really work for a sort of Wild West theme, and Revolmon, yeah, I mean, I guess I think of revolvers when I think of cowboys. Our penultimate pick, Magna Angemon. Holy Angemon is a great name, and Holy Angemon Priest Mode really doubles or triples down on the Holy vibes, but he's an Angemon. Now, sure, fallen angels exist, but when we have those kinds of Digimon, that's usually indicated by their name. Devimon, Lucemon Fall Down Mode. The name evokes a fallen angel specifically. Angels are generally perceived as holy already, so a Digimon being called Holy Angemon kind of feels redundant. It would be like if Seadramon's evolution was called Ocean Seadramon. Like, yeah, we got the idea. You don't need to double down. Whereas Magna Angemon feels like a step up. It adds new context, adds new power and strength. The word Magna means great. Great Angelmon is a fantastic name, or Magna Angemon. And again, not that Holy Angemon is a bad name by any measure. I do weirdly think that Holy Angemon Priest Mode is a better name than Magna Angemon Priest Mode. But for just Magna Angemon, it really says what this guy is all about. A great angel. Final one. My Digimon dub localization name that I think is the most better, not good English, down the one that the Japanese Digimon team want to be the official romanization, whatever it might be, of that Digimon. Raidramon, Rydramon, shit's all over Lydramon. Lydramon is what they're really pushing to be the official name and romanization of this Digimon. They kind of always have. Now in the card game, they've made it official in English by calling it Lydramon rather than Ray or Rydramon. And I kinda hate this. Now, I will contend, the way I normally say the name, Raidramon, not great. There is now an Appmon called Raidramon because of like RAID hard drives, I guess. But its name, I think, may also be an intentional reference to my boy Rydramon. And I totally get why they're going with Lydramon. Flamedramon, or Flaydramon in Japanese, almost made the list, is a flame dragon, and Lydramon is a lightning dragon. But Rydramon keeps all of those elements, lightning dragon, but also introduces Rai, the Japanese word for thunder. Raijin, the god of thunder. And because L and R are almost interchangeable in Japanese because of Japanese pronunciation, R and L only having one liquid phoneme, the R sound, it's actually a better merging of ideas in my opinion. Raijin, lightning, Dramon, rather than just lightning Dramon. And for a while there, I really thought it was just that Lydramon and Rydramon were interchangeable, but they do seem to specifically push for Lydramon, L-I-G-H, to be the spelling when they really don't have to. Rydramon is a better dubism because honestly, I assumed it was supposed to be the original name and it just isn't. So yeah, Raidramon, that's the name that I think is just better for this guy. And hey, if you're watching this, you must be a huge fan of Digimon, or at least reasonably interested. And as you saw at the start of the video, this one is sponsored by Whatnot. Whatnot is the largest live stream shopping platform in the US, and it has now landed in the UK. I've been working with Whatnot for like a month now, and they have been incredible. They invited me down to MCM London Comic Con, did a stream from the show floor, and what they're great for is kind of hybridizing the live streaming and shopping experience. For me personally, I love opening Digimon cards, and I also love doing giveaways, but I've just never had the platform where I could do it properly before. With streams, it's always really been a struggle. I have to like message people after streams and get their address details and stuff. Whatnot completely solidified this. So if you want to buy my Digimon cards, which I'm selling all the time, thank you to everyone that's already bought them, you can do that. But also you can just watch my Whatnot streams where I open entire boxes of Digimon boosters, and while doing so, give you Digimon product completely for free. When you use my invite link, it is on screen right now and in the description, Whatnot will give you £10 or $15 US of Whatnot credit to spend completely for free. So for example, let's say I list a Digimon card for $15 or less, you could just buy my Digimon card and it would only cost you shipping. When you spend that $15 credit that Whatnot gives you, it directly supports my channel. Each person that does it directly supports me, and I will be doing bonus giveaways at every 500 followers over on Whatnot. So 500, 1000, 1500, each will get its own milestone giveaway stream. So the more of you that follow, the more chance you have at winning some Digimon goodies. And make sure you install the Whatnot app on iOS and Android because Whatnot is an app first and foremost, and that's where we can have the most fun. Thank you to Whatnot for sponsoring this video. Thank you to my sovereigns, It's Elementary, ZDK14, and Jamon, and all my other channel members who absolutely crush it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.